I'm back again. I know I start every video with I'm back or I'm back again or a variant of I'm back. It don't be planned. I swear to God, it don't be planned. It's just like, I don't know. I'm still getting used to being on camera. So me just saying I'm back is just like an icebreaker, I guess. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about, so I was at work, right? Probably like, this was 2 days ago, I believe. I was at work and I was bored because when are we not bored at work? And I was watching YouTube and I watched this YouTuber called, he's named Forrest Ripperton. Shout out to him. I fuck with him. I'll put the video up here somewhere. But basically, to summarize the video, he has a clothing brand. He's like a fashion person. He has a clothing brand. His clothing brand is relatively popular, but not to be like disrespectful or anything, but you wouldn't think that it was popular enough for companies to make fakes of it, because usually that's like reserved for like the, you know, like Balenciaga, Gucci, Louis, like those big fashion houses or whatever. But yeah, so moral of the video, to summarize the video, he saw a picture of somebody wearing a fake version of his clothing brand. So he just made a video essentially just ranting about fake clothes overall, and like, you know, people buying fake clothes, and he doesn't agree. So I kind of wanted to give my opinion because I've also been very passionate about that in the past. I just feel like if you're okay, boom, let me rewind. If you like something, if you see something from a brand and you like it, right? Cool. But it's expensive, you know, or relatively expensive, you know, you can't afford it right now, or it's just out of your budget for a while, right? But you really want it. Should you buy a dupe? Either a dupe or a fake, right? Some people feel that you should buy a dupe because it's not a fake. Technically, it's like just a clone, not a clone, a lookalike, basically. But to me personally, now if you know me, I've had this conversation slash debate with a bunch of people that I know, but I personally think that a dupe is a fake. It doesn't have to be like an exact replica of that item. It doesn't have to be, you know, counterfeit, whatever. If it was supposed to look like that item, but just a little different, slightly different, to where you can call it a dupe, I personally think it's a fake. And I am biased and I'm not going to buy that thing. Now, what I really wanted to focus on with this is more so like, do we not like buying, like when I say we, as I mean me, but like, do we not like buying fake clothes because we care about what other people think, or is it genuinely just something that you value? Like, is it a moral thing within yourself? Is it an integrity thing, or is it just because we care about what people think? I don't know, because I feel like, me for example, I don't care what people think necessarily, in terms of like, I don't agree, I don't care about people's opinions on what I do. However, I do care about how I'm perceived to a certain extent. Like, I do care about making a good first impression. Obviously, like, I wouldn't want to leave a bad first impression with somebody that I just met, or, you know, something like that. So I care in terms of that, but in terms of like what people think about the way I dress, the way I look, the way I carry myself, all of that, how I am as a person, I don't really care about that. But when it comes to buying fake clothes, I feel like, what's the reason why we don't, again, we as in me, I'm like speaking for myself right now, what is the reason that I don't like buying fake clothes? Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, I didn't even know that fake clothes were a thing. I thought, like, I knew about fake shoes, but I never knew fake clothes were a thing. Like, I would say up until maybe high school, maybe late middle school, like going into high school. That's when I first found out that fake clothes were a thing. But before that, I didn't know that. I thought it was just shoes that was replicated, and yeah. So people who buy fake clothes, like you see those fake, like the clothing holes, the what, like the 10 kg. I don't know what that stuff means, but I see it in the title when it's basically like people buying a bunch of reps. Like, I don't know. I just don't feel that it makes sense. If you can't get the real thing, I don't think you should get it at all. That's just my opinion. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. But if you are the type of person that feels like, oh, if I could get this item that's relatively similar to the real thing, you could say it was made in the same factory, it's the same, it's good stitching, the quality is just as good, all of that, but technically it's fake. So you paid like way less for it because it's fake. But it's the same quality. It's the same, People that feel that it's smarter financially, which obviously it is, you're spending less money. But I just don't feel that you would get the same, like, not value. I don't think you'd appreciate it as much. It wouldn't feel as good, in my opinion, if you were to get the real thing. Now, if you are the type of person that would get the dupe and then get the real thing for whatever reason, I don't know why, but if you were that type of person and you can vouch that you felt just as good getting the dupe as you did getting the real thing, cool. That's, I stand corrected. But for me, I've never felt like, if I see a duplicate of something, even if, okay, boom, for instance, this is kind of a bad habit, but not really. It kind of applies to this. When I see, let's say that they remake something, like let's say there's a sneaker from years ago that I wanted when I was younger. Let's say a pair of Jordans, a pair of ones. I haven't really been into Jordans lately, within the past like few years, but whatever. Just an example. Let's say there's a pair of Jordans that came out that give me nostalgia from when I was younger. I wanted them really, really bad. They were a grail to me in my eyes back then, right? And then they remake them, but they make another pair that looks similar to that pair. I'm going to say I don't want that new pair because it's basically a dupe of the old pair. That's just, again, it might not be the best mentality, but that's how I see it. So it all comes back full circle to the fake clothes thing. I just don't feel it makes sense because, one, I guess from a moral standpoint, support the brand. If you really like the item, support the brand, or not. Again, you do whatever you want. But in my opinion, I feel like you might as well just get the real thing because you'll feel better, or at least I would feel better, and it'll probably last you longer because it'll more than likely be better quality most of the time. Sometimes dupes do really good at, like upping the quality or making the quality just as good as the real thing, but not all the time. Well, not majority of the time. So I would say just get the real thing overall. Yeah. Lastly, I just want to read like what I wrote in my notes when I thought about this. Like after I watched the video, I just wrote like the topic of this down, and then I wrote something in parentheses. So what I wrote in parentheses was difference between not caring about other people's opinions and wearing it for yourself. Obviously, I'm talking about the fake clothes. So if you buy a fake clothing item, right, or fake shoes or whatever, what are you doing it for? Or who are you doing it for, I should say? Are you doing it for yourself because you genuinely like the item and you don't care whether or not it's fake? You just like the way the item looks, or the silhouette of it or whatever, so you're willing to buy a fake if it looks just as good as the real one? Or are you doing it to impress other people? I'm assuming that because this was from 2 days ago, so I'm assuming that's what I meant when I wrote this. But like, are you doing it to impress other people? Like, are you Do you want to be accepted in terms of like status, like social status? Because you can say like, oh, I have this item that's expensive, even though it's not real, so you didn't pay the full price for it. But what's the reason that you're doing it? To me, that matters, because if you're doing it for the reason of like you genuinely like the item and you genuinely want that item, and it doesn't matter whether or not you pay full price or not because it's fake, and it was genuinely for you, cool, then no problem. And you're not afraid to admit that it's fake. Don't walk around like it's real, because then that's where I have a problem with that. But if you're doing it just to be accepted, like just to say like, oh, I have this item, to me that's basically like you're walking around as if it's real. I don't fuck with that. I don't think that that's what you should do. So I guess I say all of this to say, how long is this, like 10, 11 minutes to 12 minutes, whatever. I say all of this to say, whether or not you should buy fake clothes, obviously it's up to you. But I feel like if you are going to do it, the reason matters. And if you're doing it just to say you have the item, then I don't necessarily think that that's, ideal. I feel like you either should buy the real thing or not buy it at all. But if you're doing it because you really want the item, then, do what you want. So, yeah, I kind of just like, I was about to go to sleep, but I just thought, let me just turn the camera on and just kind of yap a little bit about this. Because, yeah. I have a couple other topics that I want to talk about. I'll probably record those tomorrow. Well, I don't know when they'll be posted, so it might not be tomorrow for you. It might just be tomorrow for me when I record it. But we'll see. So, yeah. Till next time.